Hey, hello everyone. Today we will explore the AI query function, which is available in the Databricks SQL and Databricks runtime environments and is in the public preview status. The normal scenario which we would go through is we have a column where we have different, let's say, support tickets raised by our customers, and we want to predict which category, whether it's severe, it's emergency, it's an urgent case, based on priority, we want to categorize it. And the usual mode would be to pass this data through a machine learning model and have it batch predicted, fetch the data, and store it back into a table so that we have the holistic information at one place, which can then be leveraged for different purposes. Now, what AI query is, it's very similar, and you can compare it to any of the UDF functions which is available in the SQL, PySpark and Scala environments. Basically running this function and running it against a particular column, making it scalable in the parallelized world of big data in the Spark environment. We'll go through one example here which will help us. We'll go through the syntax too. Before in having that use case in particular, because this will need a large language model hosted somewhere so that the AI query function can pass the data to this uh, endpoint so that it can get the data back. This is where the serving layer helps in the machine learning section here. In the serving endpoints, we see here there are three default, at least in my setup here, models with the endpoints. We'll be using the Databricks Meta Llama 3370 billion instruct model endpoint. So what I'll do is I'll click here, I'll copy this endpoint here, and now this is a notebook. Here are some of the prerequisites which need to be installed, like Databricks GenAI, MLflow, Databricks SDK. We won't be using the MLflow in particular here, but the others might be necessary. We're doing some setup here to get a table established in the backend with some data here. If you see, and some dummy data for the email and description. If you see through one of the description, it says we have noticed an issue with our production environment where audit logs are not being delivered as expected. This is causing significant impact to our operations, and we need urgent assistance to resolve this matter. Now, if I go below, this is the data which we have now in a particular delta table, and this is the prompt that we want to pass to AI query function. So it is an instruction here. Your tasks are the service request processing agent responsible for reading the descriptions of tickets and categorizing each into one of the predefined categories, that is not urgent, urgent, or impacting the prod. So the task has been given to please categorize each ticket into one of the following specific categories, and with added instruction that do not create or use any categories other than those explicitly listed above. Basically not hallucinate into some other categories. Return only single category, and these are very specific instructions so that it has a definite purpose here. If there is a confusion between multiple categories, which could be a possibility, then we are giving it an instruction to error on the side of assigning higher severity. So, and with some other instructions like impacting the prod is more severe than urgent, urgent is more severe than not urgent. Here's a basic example input where we are saying we have noticed an issue with Databricks workspace objects, specifically with clusters. Some of our production ETL pipelines and ad hoc analytics jobs are being affected. The clusters seem to be unresponsive and we are unable to run any commands. This is impacting our prod and we need urgent assistance. So the response should be impacting the prod. So this is a one chart example which is present in the prompt engineering prompt which we are specifying to the model. And the final instruction is based on the above categories and example, the following issue, and we are giving a blank for the model to respond back. Now here the endpoint which we copied previously, we are using it here in a variable, and this is our final. So if you see, it's a very common SQL query. Select the description, we'll see the description which is present. Along with that, we are passing the AI query where we are passing the serving endpoint along with the system prompt and the description. So it checks for both of this, and the final is the output should be stored in the llama 3118b. Sorry, this could be 70b here, so I can change it here. And when you run it, it gives us, we had noticed an issue in production, audit log was not delivered, that says impacting the prod. We've noticed an audit log delivery configuration is not working, but this is not causing any significant impact, so it's saying not urgent. So we can see, how you're bringing in machine learning, generative AI models into the big data environment, where on the flow in a engineering data engineering pipeline we can add it so that it adds value, and it doesn't have to be decoupled to another machine learning layer, pass the data and wait for it to complete, coming back, when this can be in a very flexible flow here. I will show you the running this so that it becomes how quick it is if you see about it in a parallelized manner. So it's pretty faster now, but one has to be always be cognizant about the cost factor, which you can always monitor. Thank you. Hope this session was helpful.